Happy day, Air Acolytes, and welcome back to Breaking Wind, a Last Airbender podcast. I am your host, Jason Roy Gaston, and the man to my right or my left, I never really learned to tell the difference, is VHS Jace.
The only kind of breaking wind I can do is not with my hands.
We know. We know. Everyone knows. Speaking of big stinks, let's talk about the North.
That's a segue.
The penultimate episode of live action Avatar. I have to admit, upon my rewatch, I'm enjoying some things more this time, taking it one episode at a time than binging. I'm also a little bit more frustrated with the show than I was the first time, because now I'm like pondering the good things and I'm pondering the bad things.
This episode has both 100%.
It does. But let's talk about something that I think is actually good. And that is this dude, Lieutenant G, who, as you recall, in one of the more stronger episodes, the one that we did last week that I cannot remember the name of. Masks. Zuko basically won the respect of his crew whenever it was revealed that he basically saved all their lives from being used as fodder during a war. And so with this newfound respect, Lieutenant G has basically been spying on Admiral Douchebag. And he tells Zuko, hey, they're gonna arrest you for treason, dude. And Zuko, of course, does the logical thing. And, he runs like hell, gets into a boat, tries to sail away. However, boat go boom.
It's had those gel things in there, didn't it?
Yes, blasting jelly. Don't get it confused with grape jelly. That will not end well.
Oh.
But yes, Zuko is totally dead, and we totally believe the show when they say Zuko's dead. Never once do I ever
totally buy into Uncle Eero's reaction shot.
Yes. Well, I honestly think Eero did think, oh my God, I called him Eero. Bad! Get out of my head, M. Night Shyamalan. So I think that I think he really thought Zuko was dead. I think Zuko firebended the explosion around him and managed to get away with just his tail feathers singed.
Yeah.
But we're going to leave fire and go to ice because the gang has arrived at the Northern Water Tribe.
Which looks gorgeous.
It does. It looks amazing. Yes. They go down and they meet everybody and look at us.
Look, he's smiling.
Yeah, I love this is the Aang I like. I like happy Aang. Stop giving us dour, sad Aang. I like happy, goofy, stupid Aang. It's just great. So they meet. They're like, Katara wants to become a waterbender, or she wants to study from a waterbending master. Aang wants to study waterbending so that he can waterbend a lot better. And Sokka wants something a little bit different.
A little bit different. Foxy, perhaps.
Because he meets Princess Yue.
Like, worst hair choice.
The wigs in the show are quite hideous. I thought I had a picture of Yue, but I don't see her in here.
It's
every single time. Here's a picture of her back.
Yeah,
that's not her real hair.
No, I'm really gonna unleash on this. The whole Katara storyline in this episode is completely diminished because of the mistreatment of this character in every other episode. This should have been a massive standout episode for her, but there's nothing there to attach it to.
They speed run through her entire training throughout this series. Now, she almost has a moment at the end. She almost has that standout moment, but it doesn't mean anything by this point because we've been given no substantial time with her journey. And
that's what frustrated
me. Yeah, out of all the things that irks me most about this live action series, it is putting Katara in the back seat. They took one of their strongest characters and nerfed her for no reason.
I just remember watching the animated series and seeing this episode and going, wow, what a fantastic episode. That battle at the end, what Katara was going, I was so invested. And then to feel so hollow watching this live action version, it's really frustrating.
It is frustrating. So we pick back up with Princess Psycho,
I like this a bit.
I like her. I like her a lot in the show. I know some people had problems with her because she's so young. Yeah, she is young. She was young
Yeah.
she was young in the animated series too. But yeah, she's basically fighting for her father, showing how she's training, and apparently she's never living up to his expectations. And of course, it causes her massive upsetty spaghettiness. Sokka, meanwhile, is got a little bomb chicka wow wow going. He is in love with Princess Yue. And
Instantly.
yeah, and we've got, oh my god, look at those beards. Look at those things. It's like,
Yeah. Straight from the
gee,
Halloween store.
yeah, it's that's so
The
cheap.
wig on the guy on the right is the worst.
It's terrible. Oh my gosh, guys, this is filmed in HD. You know that, right?
So I just got to ask, going back to the fight with the princess, when did she start training with Raiden?
That's actually something from the second season.
Right, because I'm like, when has
Yeah.
lightning become a thing?
Well, you find out there are different levels to bending, and I'm just going to leave it at that.
Okay.
You'll find out more about it in the second season. Oh, let's see. Where are we at? So, Katara wants to train with Master Paku, but she gets sent to the girls' room because girls are not allowed to fight. So all they can do is heal.
All they can do is heal.
Yeah, all they can do is heal.
Yeah.
Okay, so for a show that tried to quash a lot of the misogynistic tones of one of their major characters, I'm glad they kept this because it actually gave Katara something to fight for. They didn't give her much to fight for, but they gave her this, so I'm happy about that. And also, oh, surprise! Zuko's actually not dead. I did not see that coming. But him and Iroh are planning shenanigans.
Yeah.
Right underneath.
I didn't like that scene where he's going, "What? If you got a plan, my plan is to go get the Avatar and get back and prove." So you don't have a plan, basically.
I love that. Yeah, that's getting close to Uncle Iroh right there. I got a bit of a problem with this actor. Not the actor personally, just the interpretation. But yeah, Azula is trying desperately to please her father, and eventually she just has enough, and she's like, "No, I'm not doing this anymore." She openly defies him. He throws a fireball at him, and she turns around and shoots lightning out of her hands because she is just that good.
I jumped ahead with my comment.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
But it's really cool, and it just poses so many questions for me.
Yes.
It just poses so many questions. But Daddy's happy. Daddy is pretty darn happy with that.
I had a picture of Happy Daddy, but it's gone too.
That's gone.
I
don't think it's the only time. I think it's the only time we see him smile, right?
Yeah, it really upsets me. But speaking of Happy Daddy, Sokka's happy because he's locking lips with Yue. Swapping a little saliva there.
So do you like the connection and how she knew him because she was in the spirit world, like in that previous episode?
It did not add anything, in my opinion.
No, that's what I was trying to figure out. What did it really bring to the table except that, yeah.
If the spirit episode had come a little bit sooner in the show, and then maybe Sokka had seen her in his dreams every now and again, seen the fox in her dreams, maybe that would have been a little bit more of a connection. But right now it's just like, oh, you were the fox. Yeah, I was the fox. Oh, you want to kiss?
Yeah, you want to make out?
Yeah. What does the fox say?
In the animated series, there's that wonderful scene where she's on a boat and she's just kind of leaving to go somewhere. And he's up on the walkway. And they have this great, wonderful interaction, and it ends in a little goofy slapstick moment. But it's a great little moment of bonding that we just don't get here. Just let me stick my tongue in your mouth straight away.
Yeah, it's kind of, I guess they didn't have enough studio space and enough green screen for that. But yeah, it's strange because these episodes are longer, and it seems like they're leaving so much character building out. So
yeah, it does seem odd.
Yeah. So anyway, we move on because Katara is upsetty spaghetti because she wants to be a fighter, and Paku's like, no, you can't. And so we have a big waterbending battle between the two. I have to admit, this is cool. This is cool. It lifts some scenes directly from the cartoon, like the ice disc right in front of the guy's face. And it ends with everybody complimenting Katara on all these techniques that she has, and Paku's just sitting there going, I'm the master. Okay, fine. You can fight then. We'll see how good you are when you fight. Terrible character. Terrible character.
Yeah, and not the strongest performance either. I've seen that before. He's great, but
we've had some really bad acting in this show.
Yeah. And we don't think they're bad actors by any stretch, but the choice, I would have said, let's do that again one more time.
Yeah, I would have too. I don't have a picture of him again because SteamYard hates it when I try to upload pictures.
They do.
But the actor who plays Kuruk, the previous Avatar,
mm-hmm.
also not that great.
No, not at all. And really a scene that I don't think really adds anything that he wasn't aware of previously.
Here's what I thought. It was, okay, I want to go talk to Kuruk. Aang, I am Kuruk. Here's my life story so that we don't have any time to devote to Sokka and Yue's romance.
And
I was a sucky avatar. I was in the spirit world and Ko stole my girl's face. Do you know what it's like to be married to a girl with no face? She doesn't say good morning. She just goes.
Can never tell what she's thinking. Yeah. No, it's not just a delivery. It was just aggressive straight away. It just added more angst to Aang, who has just been full of angst this entire first season. And it's like, yeah, let's just upset the little fella more. There, why not?
It just seems like so far all the avatars have been a little bit schizophrenic, because you have the mass murderer, you have cowardly Santa Claus, and now you have, overly aggressive Eskimo. And then you have Sulky Boy. So 4 avatars, all of them have got major issues.
Especially when the whole series, first season for me, was built on optimism and hope, and that's what those avatars kind of did. They raised Aang up rather than these live action avatars are bring him down.
Yeah.
Odd choice.
Nothing you do matters. Everyone will die. Being the Avatar is a curse. You're all doomed. Sorry, that was Friday the 13th.
Pretty much that.
Okay, let's put a bow on this turd sandwich.
Yeah.
So it ends with Aang glaring at God, saying, "Why did you allow this series to take place?"
Mm-hmm.
No, he's glaring up because soot is falling from the sky, and that can only mean the Fire Nation is on their way. Cut to black.
It's such a trope episode, though. The way they've constructed it, it's very tropey, like that penultimate episode before the final episode.
Yep.
And so they fall into some of these modern day traps when they do the second to last episode, where nothing really happens of consequence. It's a time filler. Like the messaging they're going through here in this iteration, they could have probably avoided a lot of it. But at the same token, I don't know what I'd prefer, for them to have done what they've done here, or just completely just sliced it up and made it a half an hour episode and just get on with it.
I think that they just focused on the wrong things. It should have been Aang training, because you never see Aang train in this episode. It should have been Katara trying to get Paku to train her, and it should have been Sokka and Yue. None of the other stuff.
And you know what? That's the three most. You don't need anything else than that.
No, you don't.
And you can pepper in the Zuko storyline there, because in the animated series, it's not pulling focus. It's peppered in the background anyway, that particular arc. So, I just don't know why they fought against the instincts, the natural instincts of this story. It's just like they purposely put things into place to make it even more difficult for them to give them a great ending to this series.
Yeah, so I'm honestly looking forward to this first season being over with, because I want to get back to the quality of the animated series. I'm just not a fan. I'm not, and that I'm sad to say that, because I had such high hopes for this to be decent, and it's decent at times. Other times it just makes mind-bogglingly stupid decisions, and this was a episode full of stupid decisions.
this is our second time through it, Jace, because we binged it and watched it all.
Yep.
And so I was thinking episode to episode that we would pick up on things that maybe we just rush through because, we were binging it. But the things that worked when I binged it still work, and the things that were glaringly bad when I binge watched it still remain glaringly bad.
Yes. So, will they remain glaringly bad with the season finale of live action Avatar? You will have to join us next time to find out as we once again break wind on our Last Airbender podcast. Oh wait, that's Chips.
Well, I bet you we get copyrighted.